Gary Gensler is getting chewed up and spit up by Congress. We have Brian Armstrong of Coinbase looking to lock horns with JP Morgan in the UK over Chase's recent decision. And orange juice is hitting an all-time high. All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we.
Here we go. All right. Welcome one, welcome all to the Blockchain Basement. Oh, man. We're joined with the Biscuit Jesus himself. Wearing the new Magic the Gathering garb. Where have you been all over the place?
Yeah, it's just in Vegas.
Is that a hockey jersey?
They made a Magic hockey jersey, yes.
Okay. All right. Hannah, how you feeling? We're going to be talking about pudgy penguins today. I know this is a thing you've been talking about for a while. It's all over the internet.
Pudgy!
How you feeling about all the news?
Pudgy penguins. We love pudgies.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Feeling great. BJ's back.
Yeah, we need BJ in our
Looking
life.
sporty.
Yeah, BJ is the ghost of the machine that makes all the systems work. Pretty integral, but the ghost of the machine on today's show, Owen, show your face. Let them know you're here. Let's see the Lost Prince himself. He's joining us today. You've been chasing me around the studio all day. We're making some cool content about China and Evergrande. How do you feel about the Evergrande shot we just did? You think the Evergrande thing's going to be huge? Caught you off guard, didn't I? Let's look at him. Caught him off guard. Yeah, it's what we just shot. We're doing a coverage of Evergrande's founder was arrested today. So welcome all. BJE. Is that you, BJ? Is that your alt account?
Oh, that's the actual name? No.
No.
It's not me.
Michael King,
BJE.
Deucey Does Crypto. We got Dode Slave, DOD Slave, Chili Rainbow, Ransom, Raul San Miguel. Welcome on, welcome all. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of news going on in crypto right now. I have about 30 tabs up. We'll try to get to everything. You definitely want to make sure that I'm checking out Pudgy Penguins. I'm considering looking at Pudgy Penguins as a potential first NFT purchase. I don't know. I'm feeling it out. Looks like they're about 5 ETH right now. So I'm going to be looking at that a little bit later in the show. Don't want to let Hannah rant on me about the penguin too quickly on. Oh, God, there it is.
With the barn door.
Yeah, it's even got the little tag here. Isn't there like, there's instructions or whatnot. So fantastic. Pudgy Penguins might be a thing. It's good for normies. I like that it's available in Walmart and Amazon. You know, that's the type of stuff we need. We need to be plugged. We need to plug blockchain-based products and systems into existing infrastructure. Find the best spots to do. It's more of like it's a product NFT experiment that might go really well. So it'll be interesting to see where it lands. But we had a lot of news coming out about Gary Gensler, the SEC. The SEC chair Gensler testified before the House Financial Service Committee today. Really just here's some key points of the address. It was wide-ranging non-compliance, according to Mr. Gary Gensler. Wagging his, oh God, he's squeezing Mr. Coin up in the air here. That's terrifying. But Gensler is set to outline how the U.S. securities regulator is updating its rules to align with technology and business models of the 2020s. As is customary, Gensler's opening remarks have been published ahead of the September 27th hearing. So that just kind of tells you it's pre-scripted. Everyone already knows their lines. They already know what they're going to say. There's nothing really cataclysmic that came out of what he said. But what Emmer said was more intriguing to me, despite what Gensler thinks. He is not the government of one. He is a bureaucrat who answers to Congress. And I look forward to having him before the financial CMTE today. This is in reference to Gensler's speech that he did do today. I want to listen to this, though. I want to turn this computer on volume, and I'm going to play this. You ready, Owen? You're not ready. Unbelievable. Why are you not ready? Where is it?
So if you click on the right-hand side, they'll pop back out.
Oh, we got him nervous.
There you go.
There it is. Let's do it. All right. Ready?
Thank you. I identify with both the conference chair's remarks and Michael Cloud's remarks, but for me, it's a big day in Congress for more reasons than what we've talked about so far. Today, SEC Chair Gary Gensler is going to testify before the House Financial Services Committee. And boy, does he have a lot to answer for. Under Gary Gensler's leadership, I would say failed leadership, the SEC has been an incompetent cop on the beat. Throughout his career, Gensler has been relentlessly loyal to the biggest institutions at the expense of everyday Americans. Today, he's going to face some important questions about that. Gary Gensler has worked to consolidate his own power, even though it means crushing opportunities and, frankly, the financial future of this country. This strategy hasn't been successful for him. As you note, the SEC continues to lose again and again in the courts on its crusade against digital asset innovation.
Emmer's pissed. I like his anger. I like how he's calling out the failed oversight of Gary Gensler. And I did make a video about the news that's kind of trending today. I did make a kind of an emergency video about it at the end of yesterday. Married AF, I don't think we should be blocking that.
Yeah, what'd you block?
Don't block that message. It was an accident.
Well, say you're sorry.
Now the fat finger
and fix it.
Undo.
That was an accident.
Rewind.
Married AF is such a cute, wholesome username.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's the gem. So what I see from Emmer, I've liked what Emmer's been saying over the course of the last year, maybe even year and a half. And yes, I understand, Eric, it feels too good to be true, but we are at a point in a juncture where I think that political pundits are noticing the hunger for justice and kind of a reversion back to constitutionalism and holding government accountable. I think that some of these politicians are seeing that and acknowledging that in a slightly honest way, because when they see the public reacting and being hot and heavy about a certain issue, they see thousands and thousands of comments in each post about how what the SEC's been doing is absolutely wrong. There's really not any positive public sentiment for that. I think that Tom Emmer and Patrick McHenry are knowledgeable to that fact, and they're leaning towards the side of their constituents that they see as more powerful. And I'm all for it. I want to give Tom Emmer as much vocalization to people in the crypto space as possible, because I think what he's doing is not easy. It's a dry context, crypto regulation and all this stuff. The only people that really care about crypto regulation are people that have been here for years, that have been waiting for it for years, that have been watching the XRP lawsuit for years. I held XRP before the lawsuit all the way through it. I've been adding to the stack during the good dips, but I've been watching this kind of arbitrage of one of the strongest crypto projects. I know, BJ, it's JavaScript coin, but it is plugged into a large dynamic group of central banks and systems like that to have a chance at implementation. But I know it's JavaScript. But actually, is it bad that it's JavaScript if they're trying to plug into an existing infrastructure, do you think?
No, my main commentary on that was just that everybody who acts so bullish and everybody who acted like they knew everything, that was kind of the comedy that I would say that, and everyone's like, wait, no, it's not. And it's like, if you're going to fundamentally believe you understand something and not even know that. So I was mainly just trolling everyone who acted like they knew everything about it and
fair enough,
weren't even aware of that.
Well, and that assertion's totally correct to do, because look what happened with Swift and Chainlink, right? That was the whole thing with XRP, is that we got Swift, we got this on lock, we've got it all figured out. I owned both Chainlink and XRP because I thought that both of them were really good, strong projects, and they're both probably going to get a piece of the pie. That's kind of how the cryptocurrency world works. It's a large world out there, and people get kind of tunnel vision in that groupthink mentality and kind of lose vision of the larger crypto markets at whole. We may as well figure out where the crypto market is sitting right now, just for the hoot of it. We got 26.1 for Bitcoin. Any big movers since we covered this morning? Pepe trying to come back. Maker, this is one that I called out a few months back in our Crucial Crypto newsletter, so check that out. I should probably be putting a description in for that, or a link to it. Chainlink, absolutely, that still holding strong at 750. Still waiting for Cardano to give up this dang old 24-cent, 25-cent spot. Is it going to hold, BJ? Do you think it's got the gusto for this?
I guess we'd have to kind of look at where a support line is, and that's kind of where we're looking at an actual chart. But if you look right there, I mean, that's a
looks pretty
pretty
flat.
long-term line of support that's there. Like,
Right.
would I like it to go farther down? Yeah, absolutely, because I'm trying to accumulate. But even going back to 2021 before the rip up, that's about like here, go to the left side of everything.
Yeah.
Well, not all the way over there.
You want to just
You
kind
ever-
of zoom
no,
in right
oh my
here?
God! Just so before it goes up, just put your cursor there, right above 2021.
Oh, okay. Right here.
Yes, that's where the beginning of 2021 is. Keep going left.
Oh God.
You
fine.
sound
The obvious spot.
I'm
Two
going.
things look the same. Keep going.
This little shelf here is
Keep
what you're looking
going.
at, right?
Oh my God.
Right
Close
here?
enough, but yeah.
Right
Roughly
here.
around there. But I mean, that's kind of like a general support and has been for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, and this year has been the thing that I've been waiting for is for it to actually break these, because it really violently fell down to this 24 cent spot, and it's still trying to hold on by its fingernails right here. And Cardano's nothing that I'm not going to go into the next bull market with, but I am trying to just get a extra juicy entry point on it.
Yeah, I mean, so at 25 cents, every 12 grand you put in is $48,000. Assuming Cardano goes to $7, that's $336,000 in the next 18 months.
Yeah.
7, that's kind of pushing my target a little bit. Like, do I think it's hitting $4? I absolutely do. Do I think it's hitting 7? Quite possibly. People are saying like 10 to 15. I feel like the market cap on that's like what, like 800 billion. It's we could do it on the coin perspective, but the number's pretty high. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to see that, but like 7's kind of my top end that I'm looking at. Anything above that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, right.
So,
I mean, it's going to be a good mover, and like, I
but
think
even
it's definitely going to be
$4
there.
is more than a 10x. Like that's fine. Like that's perfectly fine.
Look what's happening to Litecoin. I wonder how Tom Crown is doing here. Have you checked in on him lately?
Did
Tom
BJ
Crown?
lose his luggage? It looks like he. Also, it's PLANE that I'm wearing my sassy pants today.
You have your pants make me itch and uncomfortable just looking at them.
Thank you.
Because of how tight they are around the ankles.
They're not.
Did you say PLANE like an airplane?
That's what I said, but they said PLAIN, like plane,
It's kind of rare for you to be
like white
plain
people
looking.
playing.
I'm lost here. I'm losing my mind here.
Ooh, hold on. Tom Crown joined my Discord.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
He's like mad at me because of AT. No, just kidding. He's not mad, but he's in my Discord now. So I'm like,
Dude, it's,
yeah,
time's
multiple points of
on our
contact.
side. We're not worried about anything. We're here to deliver crypto news. We don't really get stuck up in that. Another thing that I'm making a video actually right now for that's going to debut this weekend. It's going to go in depth in this subject. We actually already filmed it, so it's interesting to see this news break. But Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has called on the UK officials to check whether Chase UK's decision to restrict crypto meets the policy goals of the United Kingdom. So just to double check, hey, are you sure this is actually acceptable? Absolutely needs to be called out for. I believe the date that Chase bank accounts need to be worried about being affected is October 16th of next month. It looks like Chase in the UK division, just on the background of all the MiCA regulations and the crypto regulations that Europe has been able to put forth, Chase is signaling to its users that, hey, if you use crypto, your account might actually be shut down, which is super scary to think about for, the average crypto casual enjoyer. And it's just more kind of, it plays into that collapse theory that we've had where we've watched these top 5 banks basically absorbing SVB and Silvergate and all these other different situations as they collapse, controlling that on and off ramp to crypto for the everyday citizen, thus taking away that freedom to make their financial future, absolutely different and much more aggressive than the fiat law system that they're stuck into. So I hope that Coinbase's CEO calling out Chase goes somewhere a little bit further than just a good headline. Potentially maybe Parliament. Maybe we could see some people in the UK, like we see Tom Emmer here in the United States, getting pissed, putting themselves in front of it, and, standing up for the everyday people because they need it right now. Things are not getting better in inflation. This is actually from Bar Chart. Just in, the great orange juice squeeze continues as prices soar to another all-time high. This is orange juice. This is not a meme coin. This is just absolutely good orange squeezed deliciousness.
Is this the 2023 soybeans?
No. Yeah, they're going to be a hot commodity here. Hannah said, "Oh God, Meaningless. He's just nonstop. He just keeps going. Meaningless is out. I don't know what to say here. That's that was weird. This also came out. Chainlink CCIP is now live on Build on Base. Chainlink just continues to absolutely crush it. I almost cursed because I'm so freaking excited about this project, holding for years and years and years. And now basically CCIP is just hooking up with Base with just more integrations, man. This data oracle just continues to stack up the W's, connecting all of the DeFi protocols across the board with live information. And I think that I've been saying it for a long time, but I think people don't really realize data is the new ultimate currency for what's coming. Data and what your shopping habits are, just all of that information is going to be used to sell you products to move digital economies forward in a very specific and cohesive manner in the future. So having data oracle systems that are strong, that stay up, that are operational and secure are going to be super, super important. That's why I see CCIP hooking up with Swift, all these different things from Chainlink, just insanely bullish. I could go over the chart again, but I'm not going to because it's just looking good. I don't suggest right now is a great time to enter. I think that we're probably going to get smacked back down when we get around $8 in Chainlink. So don't get all crazy right now, but watch the channel that Chainlink is in. We covered it yesterday a little bit closer. That that warhead was sour. That was a sour warhead. I think we still have some laying around the office. You have one? Okay.
Owen just threw me one.
Oh, that's what you're doing right now.
That's what I was doing.
That's why you're weirding me out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This was kind of interesting from Altcoin Daily. Ethereum hit $10 billion in revenue faster than Facebook, Microsoft, and Zoom. 7.5 years to reach $10 billion in the average annual revenue. So this is just a cool highlight. Let's see here. You got pull here. So Ethereum right up there with Alphabet and Meta. Here's kind of the other big, Shopify, that's kind of a sleeper. People don't really realize how strong Salesforce is. Salesforce is a huge.
The Salesforce building in Buckhead is insane.
Really? You've been there?
I was just like in Buckhead the other day and noticed it. But I thought about working for them because they're huge and they're like up and coming, like just
absolutely.
As a company.
And they're leveraging data, right? If you notice, there's a common theme here. It's all data. All data-driven companies.
They're also massively connected with banks. I ended up doing a production gig probably 2017 or 2018 for BMI, which is basically like the banking clan. Like never have I been to a convention that they had two of the largest halls at the Georgia World Congress Center. And I was like, oh, how many people are going to be attending? This is like 40 or 50,000 people. I think there were 100.
Really?
And so it was like all these massive setups, but you would just have like one person at the booth and like one attendee at like a booth at a time. But it was basically like, it felt like the IMF's like little private crew, but like all the people that were in there. But yeah, it was Salesforce everywhere. Like, so they are massively connected with people, whether or not that's tangible and on paper.
It's a very tangible thing.
But like after going to that, I was like, they are very, very connected.
I'd say that the movements of these up and coming data behemoths is a very tangible thing. So I grew up in Colorado in Boulder County, and it really didn't have much of a tech, center hub feel to it. And at the time, San Francisco, all of the major tech was being done in Silicon Valley for the most part. And I physically saw the cost of living, I think it 6x'd in Boulder County from the time that we saw the collapse of Silicon Valley into Boulder County. A lot of Google headquarters started moving in. We saw a lot of data focused companies and engineers and scientists moving in to the area. It's 6x the housing price, pushed a lot of people that were just day-to-day people out into the outskirts of things. And when you see this movement of companies and things like that, you got to think ahead to the valuations of the homes that are around them, because I've seen that really change the landscape in a very positive manner. But you have to purchase and sell in the right fashion to kind of experience those growth patterns in the right way, and not on the wrong end of the stick where you're buying in $1 million house that's worth $500K after the main tech hub leaves, like we're seeing in San Francisco. Likely, Philadelphia is probably going to get wrecked for whatever's left there. My God, seeing what happened in Philadelphia this week. You know what? I'm going to find that. Where is that? Philadelphia had a lot of rioting and looting over the night. This is an Apple store that was looted in Philadelphia. It's funny, after people looted, they realized that the phones were likely being tracked, and many people were arrested subsequently. You don't need to have the volume on this one. Here's just a quick view of the shenanigans and scholarly activity that went down in Philadelphia over the evening. So as we see this continue on, you're probably you can take that information even financially and think about, hey, all the big businesses are probably going to leave there. Where are they going? Where are their plans to go, right? Where is Taiwan Semiconductor trying to build a plant at in the United States? The houses around that are probably going to explode. It's probably going to be a large developmental push. So think about things of that nature. I know that a lot of it may seem separated from crypto, but it can absolutely, if the money's green, that's what I'm looking at. And also, this is a serious question. BJ, Hannah, even Owen, this is the great debate.
No, it's not B.
You think B?
I don't think it's B.
You think B?
It's
you
B.
see like the flap going out, out, laces out.
B all the way.
It's
Why would you
B.
want to scrape your nails against the
All right,
wall?
here's the
Plus,
deal.
you have a
God.
leverage point right there. You can grab and thumb versus the back. It's like you're tickling.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't think any of you have children. So when you have a tiny child, they will, if it's laying like this, they will just keep scraping at it until the entire roll is gone. And if you're like me, I mean, you're a prepper, you've got 800 rolls of toilet paper in your closet anyways, so you just keep replacing them. But at a time, it gets tiring. I have to opt for A because I have toddlers that absolutely wreck my toilet rolls every time I turn around, and it's on B. So I'm opposed to all of you. What say you, Owen? Are you going to help me out here?
No, I just
I disagree.
said my piece on B.
Oh my God!
I think B
man
is
on an
just
island. Man on
simple
an
and
island.
easy.
You think so? Well,
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't realize, for the longest, I didn't realize that people actually put it A on purpose. I thought
I do.
I thought it was always just B.
If I put it on A and then I roll it up to right here where the crease is right here, they don't know where to start. They just leave it alone.
It's so secretive.
You know what I mean? That's what you got to do to really. That's your alpha for toilet paper. If you got toddlers right there, take that one to the bank because it'll probably save you a couple rolls of toilet paper. So let's see here. What else do we got in the news? Oh yeah, this is a great, just on kids. Overpopulation is a myth. This is from Shannon McKella. If everyone lived as densely as New York City does, the entire world's population of 8 billion people could fit into the state of Texas. A psyop that we are overpopulated is spread to induce fear, guilt, and scarcity over the masses. Make more babies. Absolutely love this. Here's her with her wonderful little nugget. I even had a video about this in the blockchain basement. I can't remember what the title of it was, but the thumbnail is overpopulation, absolute collapse. And it just highlights that we need to get to making more babies here in the United States. We got to get after it. I think we're at a 1.8 per household baby rate. You need a 2.2 to sustain a society over decades. 2.1.
That's super close. But
Yeah, 2.1. So you need to do a little bit better than, just replenishing yourself to keep the economy and society moving forward as a whole. Now, that's frame of mind might get challenged with Tesla robots, right? Like if you have a Tesla robot doing service jobs, the need for service workers might change over the next few decades. But as of right now, and just throughout human history, the best bellwether that we have on, we can ascertain that babies are important. Families are important. Keeping them together and prosperous is important. And it gives them a good bellwether for how to be good humans out in the world. That's kind of my goal, is to leave good humans on the world to move it forward in a positive manner. Now, from China, Hong Kong is issuing guidance on tokenizing stocks in the near term. I don't need to get into the weeds about this too heavily, because what the main thing that I'm seeing here is it's in the near term. While we're sitting here fighting ourselves and calling out, Gensler's BS and arbitrage over the last 4 or 5 years of the crypto market, we're getting outpaced by China. And China has a bigger reason to flip the switch into digital currency. Likely will be stemmed all around the digital yuan. Yuan, I think is how I was corrected into saying it. Yuan. But their Hong Kong hub has been given access institutionally to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a couple other cryptocurrencies in an open fashion. Now, China is an interesting setup because Hong Kong is its financial hub, and it actually is more accepting and I guess the best word is privileged. Hong Kong is privileged to take part in cryptocurrency exposure, while the rest of mainland China, it remains banned. So it's a very interesting dichotomy. And, it's hard for an American to really understand, like, okay, so what? This city's allowed to eat cheeseburgers, but then if you go to this city, it's illegal. But that's kind of the situation more hard-sidedly in China, in Hong Kong compared to the mainland particularly. But I see that their need to redo the entire economic infrastructure is more drastic than the United States. They did a harder shutdown. They have more dissidents from their society, and it's called Bailon. It's the refusal to participate from the younger generation that's been living under a tyrannical government for decades and decades at this point. And they don't really have a physical means of hard-sided iron goods to fight back with. So the best thing that they can do is Bailon, where they just don't participate and let it crumble from within, which is very unfortunate. I mean, here in America, at least we have someone helping us out with the deterioration like Joe Biden. He's doing a great job at tearing this place apart. So we better figure it out here quickly. The chairman of the Chinese real estate developer Evergrande, can't remember how to say his name, is like Hu Kuai Han or something, has been placed under police control. Here is a picture of Xi Jinping himself reveling in his capture of the failed CCP state agent. And here's just a glimpse of their stock. Now, their stock, this does not do it justice. Evergrande stock is absolutely in the gutter. And the bigger thing with Evergrande, I would say, is that China's banks are state-run. And the real estate market in China makes up a huge portion of their overall economy. It's where people have been putting their money to escape inflationary fiat, government controls on their fiat. They had more of an open field to play in as far as where to put their money in the real estate market in China. Evergrande was an integral piece to that real estate part of the puzzle. And to see it collapse like this just codifies my idea that I said earlier. When I see Hong Kong moving towards crypto, they're going to be looking for the solution faster than the United States. And if it works, I don't think that their regime of control is going to work over 2 decades from now. It's not going to have panned out well, but they are going to be aggressively competing with the United States over this decade at the very least. So it's interesting to watch kind of the liquidity in that region, Southeast Asia, build up. I mean, we here in America, America makes up a large portion of the financial activity on Earth, but the most people are in Asia and Africa and India. They're not here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this wealth, if the wealth is able to grow in those nations comparatively to the U.S., because really what we've seen over the last flu season is all the wealth from every side is getting siphoned to the 1% of 1%, which absolutely sucks. Are we having another flu season, BJ? Is someone going to sneeze next year during election season?
So where's the chart? Somebody posted, apparently this is at somebody's doctor's office, that they posted this little chart that they said every election year has a disease. SARS 2004, avian 2008, swine 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 14, Zika 16, Ebola again in 2018, C money in 2020. So we'll see what the new one is.
Yeah. I remember being in 7th grade when Ebola was like trending on Twitter, like number one, and all the like the suits that they were wearing. Y'all remember? We were all like, what the hell?
I
Like,
want a
what's going
Megatron
on?
variant. What about a Megatron variant? You know what I mean? Like from the planet Omicron.
No,
You don't think so?
I don't want
Doesn't sound like a
it.
good time. I mean, you get some cheap crypto here. Here's how to frame your mind, right? You're looking at cataclysm. You got to look at the silver lining.
Well, so I'm not saying something is coming, but if you look at the budgets, there have been hundreds of millions of dollars in buying more tests, masks, and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they've been.
boy.
It's been literally like
The past
in my
month and a half. Like,
in my inbox, like for no reason. Like the government's distributing more tests. Like yay!
And they've taken away menus at restaurants where I live.
The
There's
tanning salon that I go to has a note on the door that says no cash accepted
Oh,
starting
boy.
in like October.
okay.
The tanning salon.
They're doing their little poking and prodding. They're getting you ready for it. That's how it happened last time. I remember I was watching the bleach trucks drive down Chinese cities in like November, December 2019, and I already had a gas mask ready. I was like, all right, this is Resident Evil. Here we go. This is, by the way, the worst apocalypse ever, because basically it was a flu, but. I had the mask on in the airport and like I saw the person putting the sign down because I already saw it. And I was like, the moment that I saw that the mask only covered the face and you didn't cover the eyes are the most porous part of your body.
or your ears.
Or your ears.
You go to ENTs for a reason.
Right. Like, why are we not covering those appendages, but yet we're just covering this? Oh, it's for the other people. Okay, so you just keep explaining it. But no, this and this are the most porous surfaces that receive amorphous substances, which they were saying it was. Now, was it even airborne? Did it ever even end up being proven to be airborne?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, fine. All right, fine. Well, the aftermath of such a sneeze is real time. Brick and mortar stores are collapsing. We got real time liquidation of male investments in the $1.7 trillion of leveraged loan markets. Petco took out a $1.7 billion loan 2 years ago at an interest rate around 3.5%. Not bad, not too high, actually pretty dang low. Now it pays almost 9% on that same loan. Interest costs are now nearly a quarter of all free cash flow for the company.
Oh, yeah, here they all are.
Dude, they're going to get crushed.
So
What do you
this
got?
is from August 22nd. Let's see. The Department of Veteran Affairs spent $3 million for tests.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another couple million for more in vitro documentation, and then another. So I mean, all in all, it's only like 10 million on these specifically, but it's them. I don't know if you can zoom in on this at all successfully. We'll try.
That looks like chaos.
It does look like chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a blanket purchase agreement from the Department of Veterans Affairs to Abbott Molecular. So I'll hold it up. So there's a bunch of these.
But would they really do it if everyone's expecting it now?
Well, what I'm getting at is, so like, I'm just making sure I'm not going to show you anything weird. But yeah, you can go to U.S. spending and like see where they're buying all these more tests and everything else. So they're not like a massive one. I mean, this is just another like Department of DOD buying $1.5 million worth of more kits. So like, it's not a bunch of money, but you can see things are being purchased again.
I think they're going to try. I think they're going to try again. It's just a matter of when. I think it's probably going to be timed out some moment around the election. But time will tell on that. If it doesn't happen, then I'm happily incorrect, and the markets don't have a black swan, and we keep moving up from there. But I do keep it in the back of my mind to be mentally prepared in case we do get a juicy flash crash like we did at the beginning of 2020. That's where the real juice is.
I still think we get something before the end of the year. What I was trying to dig around for, I was trying to find, there was a BlackRock article that was basically discussing how like the GDP and GPI stay fairly close to one another, but now they are basically doing this. And the last time that happened was 2008 before the financial crash. But it looks like a lot of stuff BlackRock's postulating doing with buying and kind of manipulating the bond market is about to happen. So this should get interesting. I'm gonna try to grab all that so we can put it on bring it on tomorrow.
Yeah, you
But
should.
It's there's a lot of things that are about to happen for sure.
Well, and another thing, we were thinking about this, like a potential for a stock market crash, or, you know, having this black swan event come and really crush the markets. But think back to it in March of this year when SVB and Silvergate and all those other banks went down. That was a pretty nasty black swan event. Like, there was bank run lines. There's people that are being pushed out of the front door of their banks by police, not allowed to get their money out from collapsing banks, which kind of weirdly affected Bitcoin in a very positive manner. And also someone brought it up earlier in the chat. The DXY is absolutely crushing it right now. And traditionally when we see that, like a year ago when we saw the DXY crushing it, we were able to just know that Bitcoin was falling in the exact same distance or direction.
So speaking of which, this super sketched me out. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, how they were like, oh, have you heard of this? Yeah. So it's called SoFi that unlocked up to 4.5% APY, but they don't have any locations. You can't pull cash out, and it would all be digital.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about, and crypto, now we're at the point where it's like, oh, you're going to get 5% APY, and you're like, where's that liquidity coming from? So the fact that there are a lot of these banks that are now offering 4 and 5%, personally makes me scared that there is about to be some kind of rug pull and where we potentially hit a reset switch and do go to some kind of CDBC, because we've watched it happen with crypto.
Yeah.
And so if you're going back into TradFi and a bank's offering you 5%, it's like, where's that liquidity coming from? Or why do they want to make sure that your finances are all on the bank?
There's some bad signals that are signaling to what you're talking about here.
So it's like, if there's going to be that pseudo black swan, I think that's what that is. Charles Schwab is still, I'm not saying they're going insolvent, but they've been firing people. They've been pulling back on investments. And like that could be a very large catalyst to some other things.
Well, Charles Schwab is right next to Silvergate as far as its.
And that is barely being talked about.
I know. Well, I talked about it. I made a big deal about that. Basically, they owe 130% of what they make. So they're effed if they don't do something big. Banks have seen a large amount of people decide to no longer deposit their money, but also you have incomes going down. Savings accounts are being absolutely obliterated. People don't have a lot of expendable money to be putting into extraneous purchases. Real estate is riding on the edge of a knife's edge, basically. You have a Mexican standoff where people that got their houses at 2% aren't selling, and people that have money but want to buy aren't buying at 8, 9%. They want it to go back down to that 3%, 4% level.
So I'm not sure when that comes back down. I know I've said a million times at this point, but if you look at the past 80 years and things looking at 40-year cycles, 81 roughly was the top, 2020 was roughly the bottom, but because I'm still looking in the market, pretty much all the houses I've been looking at have been on the market for months at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny when I look and it's like price drop of 1,000, but I mean, I've seen some $20,000 drops at this point. Like, I'm sure if you go in there and just talk to them, they'll probably lower the price a lot, but things are coming down significantly. Zillow is definitely lying about valuations on prices. For sure.
Yeah.
And then you look at all your institutional investors that have sold over 8% of what they've owned over the past year. But how do interest rates go down? So that's where I think this whole like BlackRock and the bond market thing is going to get interesting.
Yeah. I want to just make a side note too. A lot of people look at me and they think, what's this 20-year-old talking to me about interest rates for and stuff? I am a middle-aged man that owns lots of land because I rode the interest rate hike and the low points perfectly. So, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home that you live in and enjoy by riding the interest rates correctly and moving into demographics that have positive growth movement. It's a very simple combination. You just have to have the gusto to move with your feet and make that action happen. And, just in this broader conversation we're in right now, we're seeing the DXYs ripping. Bitcoin isn't going down, which is different than what we've seen over the past year. We saw a little bit of hint of this same type of action last month. Then everything kind of returned to normal. Now we see another potential decoupling going on. Very interesting to watch. Bitcoin is currently completely uncorrelated from every market. This is from Wolf of All Streets, Scott Melker, fantastic account to follow. Bitcoin is up. The dollar is way up. Stocks are down. Gold is down. Bitcoin has a life of its own, and that might just be where we are headed. That is the absolute dream where, for me, I see a collapse of traditional fiat. I see an awakening of people through the increased velocity of information coming to you, true information, verifiable information, being able to not have to trust these talking heads in the dinosaur of corporate media to tell you where might be safe. Remember what corporate media told you at the beginning of 2020 to save, right? Save all your little money so you could get inflated out of existence. They printed 80% of all dollars in circulation from the time they told you to save everything till now. They lied to you. They screwed the American public, and they knew it. They knew that they were going to raise rates. They knew that the 2% level wouldn't last. They was essentially at zero. Everyone knew it. The gold bugs knew it. The Bitcoiners knew it. And yet, traditional mainstream finance psyoped the entire country right before the lockdowns. Absolutely dusted some people that had retirement accounts put together. Now they're back to work because they listened to the talking heads and they got effed. So I just wanted to be very serious about that because I don't think that they're doing right by the average citizen. I'm just going to be real plain about it. And also, this is coming up. This is happening. I don't think this is in the U.S., but oil conglomerate Tech Petrol. I wonder where this company is located to mine Bitcoin with the vented gas on site for the second largest shale reserves. The energy that would have all any other ways been wasted. This is from Bitcoin Magazine. Pull my screen. Now I want to find out who Tech Petrol is real quick. This is a subject that excites me. Joshua Jake came on the stream about...
Oh, we got somebody who might be gaming on the stream.
Oh, who's that? Is that Bobby?
Brian.
Oh,
Brian, there's a seat for you.
Oh, come on in. He came in. He peeked his head in the basement. That's what happens to you, you know.
Come on.
Let's see here. So Tech Petrol... I want to see where they're based at. Oh, Argentina. Okay. So Latin America, Argentina, this is Tech Petrol. So we see a little bit. I mean, you can kind of count this in with El Salvador being more outward about Bitcoin. This actually mirrors a plan that is requested by the White House in the executive order that was released 1.5 years ago. 3/4 of the way through the executive order, Biden and the White House laid out the financial incentives that are going to be in place and bringing in crypto and Bitcoin miners on site at oil rigs to capture that methane flare release, not let it into the atmosphere. You're bringing down the world's emissions by an entire 1%, which is quite substantial if you're counting the entire world. China's still over there printing all of their raw, brand new plastic because no one cares what China does. They can do whatever they want. But, you know, here, us under the ESG dominated narrative are trying to find ways to be, you know, a little bit easier on the environment. And honestly, I'm not trying to say that we should just, you know, light piles of trash on fire in our backyard to go against the ESG narrative. I'm not trying to
whatever
say that.
happened to that's gasification. I mean, granted, they do it in like a controlled system with, and I think it gets up to a plasma stage, but
where they capture the gas created out of it.
No, they literally burn trash and make methane and a bunch of other things out of it. I believe it's called gasification, but I remember reading about this forever ago. Like, there are options.
Absolutely,
there are ways to be quote unquote greener.
Yep. Absolutely. Just got to think a little open-minded about it.
And again, like, I don't like the whole thing. It's like, oh, global warming, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, let's just treat this as a game. And we're not being efficient with our resources. We're not innovating. Like, that's more where my problem is. And it's like, I'm going to push aside the rest of that because I know people can argue it on both sides. But it's like, if there's an option for a better way of producing energy, shouldn't we do that just because it's cool? Like,
I mean,
literally.
refusing to is an insult to your own intelligence.
Yeah, like, I don't like using very old technologies that basically are controlled by oil companies. It's like, if we want to take the power back, literally, figuratively, and philosophically, like, we need to actually do that.
Yep. And, you know, things are getting better. Things are getting better as far as our output as humanity onto the earth. Like, they've captured a lot of trash that would have otherwise hit water systems. in India and China.
How much do you need to pay me to make you commander deck? DM me.
Oh my God. You setting up Magic the Gathering battles?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
BJ Cade says, what would you suggest to rural residents that don't have trash services?
Well, the question is, are you composting first off?
He said they used to burn their trash.
Yeah, that I genuinely I can't comment on just
Well,
because I'm not versed. But I would start by composting, so that's probably gonna drop down things a lot. But yeah, I guess at that point you really need to start doing like reusable like glass containers and things like that. But yeah, once you have trash, it's like I wonder, is there a company that would somehow profit by picking up your stuff? But I don't have an answer for you at all.
So I see people
Because I
burning
don't want
trash.
bullshit.
I see people burning trash every now and again, but I don't really think that it. Elon Musk.
I mean, it depends what you're burning. Are you burning plastic? Are you burning paper?
Right.
That's also
Musk
relevant.
highlighted, we have a minimal effect as humans, but we can do better, and we can be a positive effect. Trash burning, I know, is really out of control in places like Thailand and things like that, because China got tired of taking America's recycling, and so we send it all to Thailand so they can just burn it into the atmosphere. But everyone feels like they're doing the right thing here in America by putting it in the blue bin, and then it's sent on a
which doesn't
ship
do
freight.
anything. Like I would love, and I feel like this would help significantly. It's like if a grocery store knows they're going to sell 100 units of orange juice, and I'm going to make up all these numbers. Instead of packaging them, they literally just send one giant, preferably glass container with it. And it's like it's like a giant soda machine where you bring your glass container and you fill it and you get charged the same. But they're not making all of these plastic and paper containers to where it's like there should be some responsibility. Like when the milkman used to come and would bring you a glass container and you put them out and then they clean them and do it again. It's like, you're creating a job, but you're greatly cutting down on the amount of waste that's being created.
Yeah.
Plus, your stuff is in glass.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about bisphenol A. You're not worrying about everything else. Things would have to be fresher. Grant, I know why they're not going to do any of that, but it's like I would love, like, when I'm president, that's one thing that we're immediately doing. It's like you got to have your own container, like, and reuse it.
I do it.
And
I
plus,
do
we
do
can,
it.
like, put our initials on it and make it super cool.
I do it. I go through the I clean the bags that I use for my kids' lunch every day. I even did cloth diapers. Man, that was a pain in the ass. All right.
I mean, I'll be a little gross here for a second. The lady friend uses period panties, for example, where it's like, yeah, you got to wash them, but like you're not creating all that waste. Plus, like, do you even have the slightest clue some of the stuff that people put in those? Like a tampon, for example.
Oh, God.
Like, look at some of the chemicals that are in that.
Oh, God.
And you're putting it right in a place that absorbs a lot.
That's not well.
No, it's not at all. So it's like, yeah, like some of this stuff, it's like, oh, like gross. I have to like throw it in the laundry. And it's like, no, like you're taking a much more natural product and you're not creating more waste. Like it's something we really need to look in.
It takes more work, but
When I'm prez.
what's good ain't easy, and what's easy ain't good. Oftentimes,
Nothing worth having comes.
boom. Hannah, I'm ready to talk about this freaking penguin that's on my desk.
Penguin.
All right, so pudgy penguins. They're out in Walmart's. 2,000 different Walmart stores released that they're going to be selling pudgy penguins.
How many
Here.
different ones are there? Because there's 10,000 Pudgy Penguin NFTs?
Yeah, I got them on OpenSea right here. So
Because that's what I think is interesting is when, I guess if you have that NFT, you're going to get royalties on it. But if they're only ever going to make like 10 of them, doesn't it make the other ones not really, like, you're in the ecosystem, but you're never going to get royalties because yours is never getting produced.
I think it's going to be like it's a long-term vision. I think there's going to be a lot more that are used. Like, I think it'll be like a cycle. They're making the toys at this point. They're making the toys collectibles. So it's like Pokemon cards. Like you're going to be able to go to Walmart and buy like a little igloo that comes with like different collectibles. And every time you have like different ones that you could end up getting. You feel me? Like people are going to be wanting to like repurchase this.
well, and there's 8,888 of them that are made.
Okay. If Owen pulls up your screen, we'll be able to look at it. He's
Yeah,
too busy
well,
stuffing his mouth with Swedish fish.
There it goes. So 8,888. Floor price is sitting right at 5.15. Best offer, a little below that, 2% are listed. They have an interesting backstory. Hannah was telling me about it. The rise and fall and redemption of Pudgy Penguin NFTs. This is actually an old article, but I just want to highlight it because it has some good context here, just to keep in the right mind frame of Pudgy Penguins. It's dominating the news cycle, but this has actually been around for a little bit of time. Let's see here. So the biggest thing I want to see is, obviously it's a penguin. It's a picture of a penguin with a toy. Great. They're plugged into huge stores. They're probably going to move really well. I'm not saying anything bad about that. Doing good things. Oh God, there's just so many of these little things. So perhaps the ultimate faux pas in the NFT space was at the time, and I remember this, it was the rug pull when project founders run off with the funding that supporters contributed in good faith toward a project development. Even the slightest suspicion from a project's community that its founders may do something of the sort to tank its value. That's exactly what happened with Pudgy Penguin's community in late 2021. Super unfortunate story here. So some members of the larger NFT community weren't surprised as Cole Therium, who created...
Shout out Cole.
Yeah? Shout out Cole? Okay, interesting. Moving on. Who created Pudgy Penguins had been previously caught engaging in scam-adjacent behavior. What is your relationship with Cole Therium?
We're mutuals on Twitter. I tweeted something recently and he was like, you could be my girlfriend or something.
Oh God.
But he's the original founder of Pudgy Penguins, but he was he was doing some weird suspect activity and people started to talk about it, right? So nobody really believed in him anymore. They thought the whole project was going to be a rug pull. Something happened to the project's funds at one point and it was just kind of a shit show. It was bad. So Luca Netz came in. Luca Netz is e-commerce marketing. He bought the project for $2 million something dollars. And he already had, this was 2021. So I saw when Luca changed his profile picture to a penguin on Instagram and I was like, And this was right before the apes it was right before the Super Bowl when crypto was in the Super Bowl commercials and the apes were everywhere. Eminem had an ape. Justin Bieber had an ape. Luca Nedge changes his profile picture to a penguin. I'm like, what is this? He already had, I believe it's called Gel Blasters. It's a toy. It's like Nerf guns in Walmart. There was already he already created a toy. He has a toy that people have to go repurchase these Nerf bullets. It's gel blaster things. People go repurchase the bullets for these guns. So he already has that as a main source. I don't know if it's a main source of income, but it's a source. And he has all of the contracts with the stores.
So he's got in and know-how on actual in-person retail sales.
Marketing, e-commerce, and it's toy sales. They already had all of this stuff lined up. So this has just been in progress since 2021, but they rolled out Amazon in May and then Walmart yesterday. And then I'm sure the pipeline is full.
Here's my line in the sand. 3 ETH. I'm going to wait till this thing drops to 3 ETH.
Okay.
I think people are going to get bored with it enough. They'll forget about it in a month or two. If I see it hit 3 ETH, that's when I'm getting one. That's what I decided.
I can't remember at what point it was. It may have been right when they listed on Amazon, but I was all hyped up and I went talking to Justin. I've been talking about this since 2021, but I finally went. I was talking to Justin and he bought and they've been dropping ever since. It comes in cycles, but every time they announce something, they do something, the price goes up, obviously. Devs do something, but Justin is in profit now. He's made money since he bought it.
You told him at a good time.
He bought it during a hype cycle. So after that, he watched the price go down, and I was like, just wait, and now it's up.
Well, I remember you telling him about him before the hype cycle came.
Yeah.
But he only got serious about it when the hype cycle came.
Yeah, that's why he bought while everybody right now. He bought when everybody don't buy right now. Wait a month.
Buy the top, baby.
Don't buy right now. Wait a month. Wait a month. They're gonna be down a little bit, but I do think I think eventually everybody's gonna want a Pudgy Penguin. And not everybody's going to be able to afford it.
Well, at least for $3,000, I'll get a stuffed animal. Or no, that'd be for about $6,000 if we stay still around there. That's what I'm putting it at, though. I think that I can get one for 3 ETH.
I'm just so mad at myself for not buying Pudgies when they were $200.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever be back down to 200. Like, I doubt it. I doubt it.
And now, Crypto KY, you're not the minority. I also hate NFTs, but I see this thing getting into major retailers and on Amazon. It's keeping the lights on. It just won't die. So at a point, I have to acknowledge this thing as a potential that I might actually make a move on this and do pretty well because. Sometimes I don't understand things at first. Like the last NFT market, I did not pay attention to at all. I was more about the gaming sector and got, some picks that I really was disappointed because the game came out. It was a lot of the gaming hype last cycle. They would put all this money into this amazing advertisement video, 30-second, 20-second video. Then you get the game and it sucks and no one's on there. It's just dead. So it's
the
just
most
overhyped.
bullish NFT based game that I've come across is Gods Unchained.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother
That
pudgy
game was
world.
That was fun. It was a TCG. It was, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Chris Clay, who is one of the lead designers for Magic Arena, left, and he either was on the inaugural, I guess, group of people that did Gods Unchained. But that was a game that, like, for example, I've been playing Parallels, which is enjoyable. I like it. I will probably continue to play it. I need to get a little bit more into it, but like Gods Unchained had me very quickly. So that was a game that never like really took off, and I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't. But like that's where like NFTs are actually really good when you have a game designer then doing an NFT project versus the other way around.
Yeah.
Now, whereas I know I've brought this up too with Parallels, which I think is a really good idea, is it's free to play. You can buy stuff if you want to. You can interact with NFTs if you want to. So people who are very against NFTs will never see that side of the game. They just will never see it.
Yeah.
And you never have to be exposed to that. And then people who are collectors and bullish and want to grab that, they can as well.
There might be something.
So we'll see. But yeah, most of the NFT and Web3 games are...
they're probably going to get wrecked.
They're terrible.
They're going to get wrecked.
Okay. All right.
Most of them are going to get wrecked.
This
Pudgy
is a
Penguins
good-
might survive, though.
Right. Hear me. That's a good transition because
No, that's a
talk
good
about-
transition. Oh, I got it!
Pudgy penguins could survive. They're creating Pudgy World, right? And so these little penguins that are being
That's not
sold
something Johnny would be interested in.
in Walmart now, they come with a code and you unlock, I think it's like 5 NFTs on
Do you want to show
Polygon
the code on
each.
stream so everyone can take it?
No, don't do it.
They're already used. I have a few of these, but
Hey, the advantage of blockchain right there.
right.
Already
But
done.
they're building this game, and like in May when I downloaded it, there was not you could play chess with the with the computer. That you couldn't do anything else. They've already updated it, so now they built like the lobby. So now you can log in and you can walk around as a little penguin, and you can see other people in the lobby. Like they're developing this game, and I don't know if you guys know Webkins. Webkins owned me like 15 years ago, like literally ran my life. When I was 7, 8 years old, all I wanted was to go to the store and buy that $20 little stuffed animal so I could go register the code and get my game online and then spend all day on that. Like that's all I cared about. And then Club Penguin, all these online games. Right now, there is not a big game like that other than like Fortnite, Minecraft, which have always been around. But like I think the market is bigger than it ever has been. It's much bigger than when I was 7. Like this, we're talking 2023. There's 7, 8-year-olds right now at home that like don't really have games to play. And Pudgy Penguin sees that opportunity and they're trying to like kind of reinstate Webkins and Club Penguin. Like they're building a whole game and they're actively working on it and they're doing it pretty quickly. And like there's a whole community that's already going to play it. And I think there's going to be a whole community of kids that are like waiting for something like this.
You got to keep your imagination open in subject matter like this, man. You never know. Like, whoever thought that those stupid little pet circle things would be a big deal?
They were for a short time. Tamagotchis, Neo Geo.
You know, I thought things was
And like
ridiculous.
DS, like the dogs on the. Oh my god, I played all of them.
All of them.
Owen, are you dying over there? Okay. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to get this Pudgy for 3. That's what I'm putting it out in the universe. I'm keeping my imagination open, my ears to the ground, because, you know, when I see potential opportunity, I am going to find out more. And that should be the yearning and the craving for information that we all have here in the space. We're here in the crypto market as everything is down. Things have been kind of rough this year, right? But we're still here. We're going after it full steam ahead. failing forward, taking those hits, moving forward like absolute savages, because the time to change our financial future is now. So I thank you very much for joining us on today's show. BJ, Hannah, Owen, you guys were absolutely fantastic. What are we going to do now? We're going to go set up ATV or what? Yeah. Are we going down to Monday, Wednesday, Friday for ATV?
What?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Really?
We
might.
got a message
Why?
from Nick today.
Okay, we might do it. Let's go see. Well, we're doing a lot of rehash. There's some pretty big studio changes coming. We're going to be doing some big stuff upstairs, so it's going to be quite busy over the next month or two. But until next time, Candle Daddy, Academicated, Crimson Caravan Company, Veteran Crypto, Bob from accounting. Thank you much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.